Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Robert, not so much McCall.
Not so much?
Oh, well, your rating, it didn't move up.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
Not so much. So what are you currently rated?
986.
And what are you currently rated?
986.
What were you rated before?
986.
Yeah, it didn't move.
So, lots of non-movement.
No, it's a non-movement.
Yeah.
But that's better than going down for you.
That's right. Anthony pointed out earlier, I've done a little bit of a roller coaster because I haven't had as many rated rounds on my rating as before. So used to, I would have to like really crush it for a couple of tournaments to see a small increase. Now, since I don't have that many tournaments, it's like one good tournament or one bad tournament. It's just like
huge swing.
Yeah, yeah. So that's okay.
And we also have Anthony Bourdain. No,
yeah,
wrong.
I'll take that.
No,
what's his show called? No Reservations or something like that.
Yeah.
You never. I've never heard of Anthony making any reservations.
I don't make any. I just show up and I stay.
Not once.
I demand a table.
Not in my entire life. I want that one, please.
So, all right, we got a jam-packed show for you guys today. So thank you so much for downloading, for watching, for whatever you're doing to listen to the show. We thank you for that. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is that me and Robert, Jeremy, and Eric just got back. Well, Eric's not quite back yet. He's out at a trade show.
What a rookie.
I know.
Like, we're already back, man. Come on. Figure it out.
So the four of us just got back from Pennsylvania, where we took part in the disc golf experience at Pocono Raceway, where Mr. Disc Golf Mike Schultz organized about close to 300 people.
Yeah.
Came out on Sunday for the main event.
Yeah. Over both days, over 300 for sure.
So Friday we flew out there, and we helped them set up. Got to the Pocono Raceway. That was really cool. And then Saturday they had a flex C tier where about 50 people showed up. And they took part in what we were calling it the yellow course. And it was a course that was kind of set up under the stands. A couple of the holes were in the stands. And then some of them, where the rest? That was all really in the stands and outside by the fanfare, they call it.
One from like the starters, what do they call that, flag stand? To the winner's circle, which was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was just kind of a primer for the actual disc golf experience weekend. And then, of course, Sunday was the big day where they actually had two 18-hole courses. One course was set up, the yellow course, which was in the stands, and the other course took advantage of the racetrack and made it part of the course. And it was really cool. It was really fun. I think it's really cool for people to be able to throw discs somewhere besides what they're normally used to on a course. And it just makes for a whole different experience. And, of course, the players got some sweet discs with a sweet Pocono Raceway stamp on it. I think they got to choose from, like, Mercy's, Evidence,
there's some
Convict,
lucid Marshalls out there.
Marshalls.
Yeah, there's some really good ones.
So good stuff, and everybody had a good time. It was so great. If you were there and you were listening and you came by and said hello, thank you so much for stopping by and shaking our hands and saying hello. It's just a really cool feeling to have people come up and say they listen to the show. So we really appreciate you do that, and I appreciate everybody that came out. Then of course we got to hang out with Jonathan Ray from the RV, and Mike Schultz, and that was really cool. So just a really awesome weekend. Tiring.
Yeah.
But filled with a lot of good times.
Yeah, I'm pretty gassed right now.
What would you say was your favorite part of the weekend?
It's a tough one.
The part where we got in the go-karts when we weren't supposed to?
I don't remember that happening.
I don't either.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see. I hit an ace this weekend.
I didn't get it on GoPro.
Yeah, that's right.
We
definitely don't have any.
Yeah.
Yep. I hit another stadium ace this weekend.
Nice.
It was the shortest hole on the course by a long shot.
But it was such a weird hole the way you're throwing.
It was a weird
down.
one. You threw from the top of this staircase down to a little small staircase, and if you missed, so there's fencing around the staircase. If you miss that and go deep, you're not getting a 2. You're probably not getting a 3. It's just weird to get back up to it, right? And so I just tossed the Warden out to the right side, and it swung in. It was a crosswind, so I don't know. It was weird.
John
it just swung in hard and aced it. Yeah,
someone that was playing with you, John Baird, I think his name was,
posted on the latitude page.
Yeah,
so you can see how thoroughly unimpressive the ace was.
Right.
Eric right behind me, almost stacked it. It hit. Yes, it hit. I don't know how this is possible, but it hit the fence behind the right side of the basket. There's not really room for that. So, it was within inches.
Wow.
So, but Eric did hit an ace later on. We threw a couple off of this triple Mando shot. And his first one was a good one. It was parked. Second one, the basket was in a gazebo, and his was cruising a little bit to the right, and it caught one of poles, whatever, that hold up the gazebo and rocketed it in the basket. It was really cool.
So that was yours. There were the 4 other aces.
There was that day. I think there were 4.
4 other aces. Now Eric got an ace. It wasn't
his was a second shot ace, but
second shot ace. But what was cool is he called it.
Yeah, he was like, "This is my hole. I'm going to ace this hole."
Yeah, it was actually a hole where there was a triple mando because there was a sign. It was a place where you would take your kids to let them play,
right?
Because there's a little playground and it had a sign that you had to throw through, and then the basket was in the middle of a gazebo.
It was sweet, yeah.
And it bounced off.
Yeah, it hit that pillar or pole or whatever on the
Right,
side and just bounced in.
So that was cool. And John Baird also got that on video, and he posted that on the
Shout out to John.
fan page. So that was really cool.
Killing it.
So wait, you're 3 for 2 then.
I'm 3
in terms of disc golf experience.
Yes,
aces.
I'm 3 for 2 in disc golf experience aces. That's right.
Are you gonna
now
retire
hold
while
on,
you're
hold
ahead?
on. Don't if you count back to the Cowboy Stadium 3, then I'm 3 for 5.
No, as an employee.
As an employee, 3 for 2.
Yep.
All right. Now, another interesting thing is that before we left, we actually had a wager between.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you forgot
Another
about-
one?
Yeah,
Oh,
reference.
that. Oh,
yeah,
that.
reference back to the episode, and we said I'd probably give Bobby 10 strokes, and if the course was short, maybe 12. We'd kind of decide when we got out there. And you know how Bobby is. He
You would
just
give him-
he's always pressuring me to like give him more strokes because like I don't get to play that much, and like
Why
I
would
don't
he
even
give
have
you
my
more
own
strokes?
discs, and so anyway.
Eric confirmed that he should have gave me the 12 strokes that he gave
Yeah.
me.
But why would he
it's
give you
just-
12 if it was a shorter course? That's where you have the better chance to beat him.
No,
But
yeah,
there was a difficulty level. Well, there were some long holes.
Yeah.
And there were some difficulty levels with the beams and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it was
tight little tunnels to
Yeah.
hit for sure.
So he gave me 12.
Yeah.
I kept trying to convince him to give me 14, but he never budged on
No,
that.
12, and 12 was right. I won by 11, so I lost the wager by 1.
Yeah.
It hurt. Now,
Here it comes.
hold on. When we started,
been waiting for
here's the crappy part. I had the 12 strokes by hole like 9.
And then just collapsed?
Yeah, because I started running all putts and trying to ace so many things.
Yeah.
And then I took a bunch of 4s because I was 50 feet out and I was like, I'm gonna run this. And on the blacktop, that's if you miss, especially on an elevated basket, it's going to like 40 feet.
Yeah.
So certainly not a gimme.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, I was a bit churlish.
To be fair,
churlish
he did,
about my
he did
runs.
give me one mulligan.
Oh yes, that's true. On the triple Mando hole that Eric aced, Bobby just missed the Mando, and I said, "All right,
Smacked
man."
it right into
yeah,
the
I was
side.
like, "You know what? Rethrow that, man." And then he tooed it.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
And then he tooed it. And I 3'd it.
Was it like a Mando like right off the tee, or was it like you had to go through
Like-
the gazebo?
It's probably 50 feet,
Okay.
maybe less.
From
From
where
the
we
tee?
were throwing?
Yeah,
You think 50? I thought it was closer than that.
yeah, probably so.
So, but
It wasn't far, but Bobby's disc just came out early, and I was like,
Oh,
"All
that's
right, you know what? Redo it." And then he tooed it, and I freaking 3'd it. It's dumb.
You were just waiting for him to be like, no, you can redo it too,
the
man.
thing is, I played by his rules. He gave
did.
me the mulligan. So
Yeah, he did.
I mean, what was I going to do?
So needless to say, I lost, and I was very upset. I'm actually still very upset.
I can tell.
The thing is, we never did put anything on it.
Yeah.
We never said. I don't think we did.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. So.
Dang.
So anyway, exciting times at Pocono Raceway. Thanks again to Mike Salt for putting that together. It's unclear whether it will happen next year. I know they were talking about maybe doing it, but I don't want to tell you guys for sure, and it not happen. But if it does, and you're in the area and you have not played, I highly recommend you signing up for that or any other disc golf experience that we may or may not be doing next year.
Yeah, absolutely. We've said it. We said it about the Nissan experience. We've said it about the Cowboy Stadiums one, and said it about this one. It's just so cool to throw discs in a place where you normally wouldn't get to.
Absolutely.
It's way cooler than you think. You're like, I'm throwing in the stands. I'm throwing on the raceway. It's not really that cool. Wrong. It is that cool.
I heard so many laughs and people giggling, and just because where you're throwing it at, and you're trying to navigate through beams and through gazebos and tent or pavilions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's just really cool.
Yeah, you can't get mad if you screw it up because it's like, dude, I'm just getting to do something fun.
Yeah, I feel like that would be just totally different too. Like how you said, it just slides on the pavement.
Yeah.
Like I would never think about that because normally you're just playing on grass, so
And
it's
then-
almost like a totally different.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and then throwing from the flag stand onto the winner's circle.
That was cool.
I mean, that's just cool.
That's really cool,
a
yeah.
good feeling. So, all right, guys, that's all we're going to talk about for that for now. What do you say we hop on to the questions?
I like questions.
I like them too.
Anthony was telling me he doesn't like
No.
questions
I,
earlier.
I
but-
would prefer to just keep talking about racetracks.
No,
and things.
2-1. We're doing
We're
questions.
doing questions. Here we go.
Fine.
This first one, the Jake from the St. Louis.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer fam. It's Jake from St. Louis. Not going to bother with nicknames because it's like take 25 at this point, and I'm too tired to make an effort. So I am Jake from St. Louis. And
Oh, but
I
he'll
don't know if
stick
you
with
guys
his
have heard what's
nickname.
going on in St. Louis, but there's a lot of protesting and some rioting, and I love my city so much, and it gets such a much worse reputation than it really deserves. And any prayers that you, Disc Golf Answer fam, and also listeners can send to St. Louis would be really appreciated. Regardless of how you feel about protests or protesters, I think that what we all want at the end of the day is fewer dead Americans. So please pray for common ground and a cure for the cancer instead of just a solution for the symptoms. I have tried 20 times to get that and my disc golf question in on the same 90 seconds. Just can't happen. So I'm going to thank you guys and submit my second question.
All right, let's see what his second question is.
Hey, Jake from St. Louis, and here's my disc golf question. So my tournament rounds seem to have a small ratings window. When I'm shooting really poorly, it's like low 900s. When I'm shooting really well, it's only like 960s, if I'm lucky. And so not to humble brag, but I just won a tournament today without shooting a single hot round, a 3-round tournament. And I feel like that kind of sums it up. I know there's some golfers out there that kind of have that ratings window that's a lot smaller than others. Like I feel like Nate Sexton is one of those guys where, and I'm not saying I'm Nate Sexton, but anyways, he seems to like his bad rounds seem to be okay, and his good rounds seem to be good, but not usually the hot round. So I guess is that a mindset thing that I need to just start taking more risks if I want to shoot those hot rounds, or is that a skill set thing? Or maybe my skills just lend themselves to playing safer golf, more pedestrian golf. So yeah, let me know. Thank you guys. You're all awesome. Appreciate the love for St. Louis.
I think Nate Sexton is a really good example of that. Maybe because his window is it's smaller than others, I would say, but he's just really consistently good. Like, did you see his post earlier today? His lowest 8 rounds on his rating are all still over 1,000. Like 1004 is his worst rated round that's on his rating right now.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
That seems good. And so I don't think that the same thing that's going on with him would apply to you, but this is what I would ask Jake is I would ask if you're playing, you need to look at the courses that you're playing, and then you need to look at your skill set. There are some holes, let's just assume that distance was a problem for you, and there are some holes that are 350 feet, and you're just never going to reach those. I don't know how far you throw, but I'm just using a number. And you're just never going to reach those, but you're pretty much always going to get a 3 on those, right? It may be that your skill set is limited so that you're really only ever going to score at your best, 6 under at a course like that, because there are some short holes, but if they're all around 350, 380, maybe you're not reaching those quite as well. Or maybe those holes, there's a lot of right finishing holes, and you don't have a good forehand or you don't have a good anhyzer. So you're going to get a lot of 3s, but not a lot of 2s. I think maybe that might have something to do with it. So I think the thing that I would encourage you to do is look at your skill set compared to the courses that you play on and see if there's a correlation. And if there is, maybe you might try and change one thing about your game that might allow you to get more of those birdies that you usually don't. Because that's what's going to push you to get to those 1,000 rated rounds and 10-10 and 10-20. I certainly don't want you to take more risk to where you lose on the bottom end of that, because winning a tournament without shooting a hot round is totally fine, because guess what? You still won. Yeah. Who cares if you shot the hot round in any of the 3 rounds or not? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I think. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have a bunch of
I
thoughts.
think I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I think the only other thing you kind of touched on would be just play style, which I think that's why Nate is so consistent, is because he seems to be kind of that, keep it in bounds, play it safe, and just get your birdies when they come type of guy. And if you do that, you're not going to have the big 8 on a hole where you go OB 4 or 5 times. You're not going to have it where making these huge mistakes type of thing. So yeah, just play style and then everything you said.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next one comes from Rick.
Oh, what up, Rick?
Rick.
That Ricky?
He's seeking
Hey, Bobby,
art.
Eric, and Dixon. Robert. Sorry, man. No, seriously. No
Dang.
more.
Sorry about you.
Some people, like Dixon and I talked about this the other day after
yeah?
the other guy said Dixon Light or whatever. And like I just want to reiterate, like, Dixon and I have things in common, but we're not the same person. So I mean, whatever.
How did that even start? Because
You're
not similar, really.
No, I mean we both done this job.
They're doing
we
similar
were
jobs.
both like ministers before, right?
Okay.
I guess we both wear glasses.
You both play disc golf too, so
Yeah. So
It's
you know
like-
what? Now
turns
that
out
you,
you
now
are
that you put it that
actually
way,
the same
we
person.
are
the
exactly
same
the same
person,
person.
All right, let's finish Rick.
Or Dixon Jowers light jokes. Hey, just to follow up on last week, with regards to water at Shady Oaks, you're correct, Ralph's dad. Shady Oaks does not have a lot of water, but Berkeley and Lagoon Valley do. And until or unless I'm ever sponsored by a disc company or get the pleasure of working for one, I'll have to carry floating plastic from that lesser company because I can't afford to be replacing discs. But anyway, just this week, I'm continuing my conversion process on my bag. Picked up a Witness. I'm liking it as a replacement to the Roadrunner. Once I figure out the release angle a little bit better, I think it's going to actually carry farther on the roll because of the wider nose as opposed to the sharper profile Roadrunner. But I also like to carry a really, really flip over, curl out kind of roller, something in a beat up, lower end plastic like a DX. Looking at some Prime Witnesses, they tend to have a really, really flat top. So my question this week is, will that flat top produce the same flight characteristics? I mean, this is like Firebird flat. Is that just a bad run of those Prime Witnesses? Should I look for others? Or do you guys have another mold that you would recommend in a Prime plastic for, a flip over and curl out for those severe left or right shots? You guys really need to make a West Coast swing. We'd love to have you out here. Maybe come out for the St. Patty's next year. And Robert and Eric could play and Bobby could film. Talk to you.
Well, we barely got down to that last 90 seconds.
Yeah. Well, hey, Paul. Oh, I mean, Rick.
got him.
In your face.
In your face, Rick.
Actually, one of the people sitting
Rick
at this
Light.
table. Yeah. Rick Jr. Just kidding.
Rick 2.0.
That's better.
Oh.
That would be better.
Whatever. One of the people sitting at this
Rick
table
Windows 95.
has. There you go. There you go.
0.5.
Has spent some time with a Prime Witness recently.
Prime rib.
The Prime Witness recently.
I've spent time with Prime Rib as well.
Yeah.
And I would much prefer to talk about it.
That's right. But you threw that on some rollers and turnovers and stuff. Talk about that a little bit.
It, like you said, it's a lot flatter than the Lucid, but to me they flew the same. The only difference was the durability, where I noticed because I was throwing them around. I threw it just 2 or 3 times on every hole for a couple of days, and at the end of that, the Lucid was still flying the same, whereas the Prime was noticeably more understable. So I know he said he was talking about the Prime, but if you're wanting it for more than a month or two to keep flying that same way, I would look into the Lucid Witness. They start off exactly the same. It just holds that a little bit
No,
longer.
but he said he was looking for more of the.
He wants a roller
DX
that
plastic.
cuts and that cuts right quickly. And I think Prime Witness is probably that.
Probably would.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did he say how far he was throwing and I just missed it?
No.
'Cause
But I mean, I remember watching you throw one on a hyzer that turned into a roller.
that was at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was, it's very unstable now.
So if your flat top Witness isn't quite as unstable as you'd like from the start, give it some time.
Just send it to me real quick.
Yeah, Anthony knows how to hit all the trees.
I can
around
find
here.
trees for you, no
That's
problem.
Right. Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Alex.
What up, Bobby B and the Mackey boys? This is Alex from Youngstown. Just had a quick question for you. My friend and I play pretty much every day at lunch at the local 9-hole, and I finally talked him into doing some field work. And the only local place to do that with good distance markers is the high school football field. So I guess my question is, how do you go to a high school football field with your bag full of Frisbees as a 32-year-old dude and not look like a super creep? Thank you. Keep it up. You guys rock. Bye.
Just embrace it.
You don't.
Just embrace that super creepiness. Yeah, you don't. You just have to go out there and do it. I mean, I guess go when there's not a lot of people there. When they're not, I mean,
Don't go during school hours.
don't go during school hours.
Yeah.
Don't go in the
Step
middle
one.
of their practice.
Right. I mean,
Go on the weekend.
you can also step it off close enough to where you need to be. So if you can't get onto a football field, just go out into a field and figure out how long your stride is first, because that helps. But then just step off. 100 paces for me is right around 300 feet, and so I just use that.
Like the Humpty Dance. Step off. I'm doing that. Anyway. Sorry. I was going funky. So another thing I wanted to talk about to see what you all thought, see your thoughts on it, and that is the latest rating update. Any changes happening?
Nah.
We kind of
I
alluded
still
to
don't
it
have a
already
rating.
at the beginning, but Robert's rating did not change. What yours?
No
Anthony? Did
change.
you even look?
I didn't
Still,
have any.
I'm
I didn't
not
have any
active.
ratings go on. Is what I'm saying.
So
You-
I would.
okay.
Yeah.
If I did, I would be like, because I've played one tournament in the last 2 years, and it did not go well.
No,
And so
it did not.
I think I would be like 880 something, if I remember correctly.
I obviously mine hasn't changed because I didn't have anything happen. But I was going to see if Eric has changed at all.
I don't think he has any new events on. Paige's rating went up.
Paige Pierce.
She's 975 now.
She
so
was.
974.
Oh, okay.
So she's, dude. I just have to reference back to this again. Paige and I are, we're kind of trying to race each other to get to 1,000 rating. And when Paige won Worlds, I
know
gave her
who
a
I
hug.
like in
I was
that
like,
battle.
say it again.
I know who I like in that battle.
Well, yeah,
and
me,
they're
me
not
too.
sitting
Yeah,
next to me.
her name isn't me.
Yeah.
But I went up and gave her a hug. I was like, man, I'm proud of you. And she just leaned in real close and goes, I'm coming for you. So she is. Her rating's
You've
moving up.
plateaued, Robert.
Yeah. Her rating's moving up. She's at 92 career wins, dude. 92.
She's pretty good.
That's a lot.
She made me nervous this last weekend.
Yeah. She started slow.
Made me
Yeah,
nervous.
but then didn't she finish with like, what was it, 11 down?
She
The
shot a
final
14
round?
final
14?
round.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Excuse me,
Is it
Paige.
1,000 rated?
Don't kill me.
I haven't checked, but you have to assume that, yes, it would be.
That's pretty good.
I can, you know what? Because of the beauty of the internet, I can check right now. Her ratings from this weekend, her ratings from this weekend were 950, 957, 985, 1015.
10-15.
Pretty solid.
That's all right.
That's what you get for shooting 14 under on a course.
Hey, Robert.
Yo.
When was the last 10-15 round you shot? Was it?
It would have had to have been
more?
the wild hair.
So it was more than last weekend.
It was more than last weekend.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still sticking with Paige then.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So for some of you listeners that aren't haven't joined the PDGA, there are some benefits that can benefit you.
Some
And
benefits.
hence the name.
Most of them do.
That can provide you benefits.
Right. So I suggest that yes, we could probably get into a entire day-long argument about what we don't like about the PDGA, but for the most part, they are our governing body, and I think it's important for you to support them and become a member. But other than that perspective, Robert, what are some reasons why someone would want to become a PDGA member to have a rating?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say ratings is the biggest portion of it because if we go to a tournament together, Anthony and I do, and I'm a member of the PDGA and he isn't, if it's a C tier or a B tier, then he has to pay $10 more for the event. I don't have to pay that same $10. All of your rounds automatically get a rating, but if you're not a current member of the event, then yours won't show up, and then they won't be tracked unless you become a member and then retroactively send in events to be included on your rating. And so one of the reasons that I like player ratings is that it gives you a decent idea of your progress over time. So, and your rating honestly is a little bit behind you. It kind of reflects what you've done over the last year rather than how you're playing right that second. That has a good impact on what you're doing, but in general, it shows, kind of what you should shoot. And for me, it gives me a goal to be better than,
Right.
I can on any given day go out and shoot over 986, but if I don't know, I like that because now I have something to shoot for. My goal in general is to shoot over 1,000, but that's saying for the last year I've averaged 986 basically with a little deviation to account for the most recent tournaments. So I like it for that, just so you can see your progress and see how you stack up with other people as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's arguments of why it works and why it doesn't work, but it is what we have to gauge.
Right.
And so,
and if you want to play an A tier or higher, you have to be a PDGA member.
ah, there you go. All right. All right, so let's hop back to the questions. This one comes from Justin. He says, "Hello, gentlemen. I am an 890 rated player, but I think that what is holding me back from improving my game is my putting. Currently, I use a Warden as a putter.
Is this guy me?
So far, you're using the best putter. So
I've tried a Swan, Judge, Marshall, and Pure since I switched to Trilogy, but no matter what brand, type of plastic or mold, I still seem to have a problem with my grip. All putters just feel uncomfortable in my hand. I use a fan grip almost exactly like Ricky Wysocki. Should I change my grip or just find another putter? Thanks for your help and all you do. P.S. I love the way the Warden flies, and I'm not really a fan of beads on my putters."
If you could change your grip to make it comfortable and you like the way it's flying, go with that.
Yeah, don't do it just because
But
it's
yeah.
Ricky's grip.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're doing that, Justin, but you know, just because you don't have the mindset of, well, Ricky uses it, that means I should be using it. That's not
or that it'll
necessarily
work for me.
Right. That's not the case.
Yeah, I would work on your grip first for
Yeah,
sure.
That's way easier to change.
Yeah, if the disc flies the way that you'd like it to, but it just feels uncomfortable, find a way to make it feel comfortable. I don't know. That's what I'd say.
It's also free.
Yes.
Changing grip doesn't cost
That's right.
anything. And
That's right. You can practice all sorts of grips
yeah.
for free 99.
as much as you want.
Just wear some latex gloves or maybe some
No, Bobby.
mittens.
No, that's
just
not the
so
same
it's
thing.
comfortable. No? Okay.
Extra padding between you and the disc. Usually that makes you
That's
a better
what you
putter.
want. Yeah.
I would also recommend this to you. If you're having difficulty putting, maybe the problem isn't your grip. Maybe it's not your putter. Maybe it's that you're just not committing to the putt. Because a lot of times I see newer players step up to their putt and they're kind of scared. Like, maybe I make it, maybe I don't. And they have some fear about letting it go. You're not going to make putts, definitely not as many putts as you could if you're scared. You need to get up and focus and follow through at the basket. So,
All right, next one comes from Mr. V. "Hello, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. My question is nose angle and grip. I know that in order for a disc to fly true, it has to be pointed nose down.
level to nose down.
Okay. And the most simple way of doing that is to hold on to the disc as long as possible. I have small hands and I feel comfortable gripping discs with less than 2 centimeter rim width. So anything over, say, a 9 or 10 speed, I either early release or flex my whole arm up to my shoulder and actually slow down when I should be accelerating. What are the key points in accomplishing nose down angle with wide rim drivers when you're having the same issue? You guys rock." I do a lot of nose up too, so I'm interested. So I'm going to sit back and listen to this answer.
That's a tough one
That's
because
really tough.
I don't think there's that much of a difference between throwing a driver and throwing a putter level, personally.
Yeah.
Because the fundamentals are all the same. And if I'm trying to throw a putter as far as I can or a driver as far as I can, I mean, the form looks identical. I mean, I'm pulling back as flat as I can. I'm trying to keep keep the angle of my disc flat, or if I'm throwing a hyzer, tilted to the ground. If I'm throwing an anhyzer, tilted to the air.
You're just trying to match the angle.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, from pullback to hit point to follow through, I want all of that to be the same. Mm-hmm. And so I think that one thing that you might be, it may be a grip issue, honestly. If you, like you said, it feels uncomfortable for you. If you're gripping wider rim discs, then maybe you're putting your thumb in a bad place. And I've seen a lot of people put their thumb either a little too far forward or a little too far back, and that can kind of adjust the angle a little bit. But that would be probably the last thing I'd look at. The first thing would just be to ensure that your pullback is the exact same angle as your hit, is the exact same angle as your follow through. That's how you achieve level flights. Now, nose down, I think, isn't necessarily intended to be like it has to be tilted forward necessarily. Now, if you're throwing an anhyzer or something like that, yes, it definitely does. But a level flight is what you're looking for. That's how you get the most distance out of them. I mean, slightly nose down, yes, but we know slightly nose up is a lot more difficult to correct. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just matching those angles. It's a really hard thing to do. It's a very, very precise skill to acquire.
It sounds like, because he said something about his arm going over his shoulder or something like that. It sounds like he might just be trying to like overpower it because it's a high speed disc, and they have to be thrown a little bit faster. So it sounds like he might just be trying too much. So maybe just back off it a little bit, focus on like what Robert said, match the angle the whole time, get it to come out smooth, and then work on the power.
Yep.
Cool. Next one is from Nick from Michigan. I just received my signed Fusion Burst Felon, and it is a fantastic plastic blend. Are there any plans to keep creating Fusion Burst discs? I'd love a judge in that plastic for driving.
Nah.
Yes, there is plans to do more burst plastic or burst.
Plastic.
Is it plastic?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We still use plastic.
Okay. So yes, there are plans. In fact, I know that there's some deputies on their way.
Ooh, and they look good.
They look good.
I'm gonna need some of those.
They're real good.
I'm gonna need some of those.
I'm gonna need a box of them. And then also,
Is that why they haven't shown up yet? Did you just change
Yeah.
your delivery address to your
to my
driveway?
home.
That's right.
so yeah, we definitely have some other burst discs coming out, so be on the lookout for that. He also says, on a side note, I love the Innova G-Star plastic for its ability to flex and not ricochet when it hits trees, while still remaining durable. Is that how plastic?
Plastic.
My
Yes.
gosh.
Is that how fluid plastic behaves?
In general, yes.
Yes, that's the kind of the thinking behind fluid plastic for sure. All right, let's hop over to Speak Pipe. See what we got from Andy.
Hey guys, this is Andy from Dayton, Ohio, and I had a question mainly for Bobby. Not that you guys all aren't awesome, because I really appreciate everything that you guys do for disc golf and everything like that.
But I'm
But
awesome.
my question is, you guys had mentioned in the last episode the possibility of doing a like where you and Eric, Bobby, you and Eric would switch bags. But my big thing is that I tried to search for a in the bag for you, Bobby, and I couldn't find anything. So I was just hoping that maybe there was a possibility that you could do an in the bag for dynamic discs, or just for yourself, so that we could kind of see what you throw as you're always saying that you're kind of like an amateur. And so I just kind of, with the slower arm speed myself, I wanted to see what kind of discs you're throwing. So looking forward to your answer and see if maybe that's a possibility. Okay, thanks, guys.
Ain't no kinda about it. I am a amateur.
That's right. That's right. Like a little bit of an amateur.
Just sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I try to. I tell myself, I would get to play maybe once a week, or if that. I'm the guy that only gets to play maybe on the weekend every now and then. So my skill level.
Weekend warrior.
Yeah. So yes, there is a plan to do an in the bag for myself, for Anthony, who's going to be his skill sets are going to be a little bit above what mine would be, only a little bit.
Only a little
No,
bit. He says.
Anthony actually is very good at throwing discs.
Throwing
Sometimes.
discs.
And the plan is to grab a few people from Dynamic Discs who maybe play twice a month, but still like to play and still have 10, 15
Who can play,
discs in their bag. But it would be interesting to see what they throw, because they're not going to throw all of the big high speed discs that some of the pros throw. So yes, Andy, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel on Dynamic Discs, because we will put those out. In fact, we already have Derek Savory. He has an in the bag out there where he's our sponsorship coordinator, and he likes to play disc golf. He runs disc golf events, and you can see what he likes to throw.
Yep.
The other thing, what else did he say?
Oh, switching bags. The switching bags video.
Oh yeah, we'll have to see how that
We've got a
turns
couple
out
ideas
to be something.
for
Yeah,
that.
we've got
sort
some
of
different
stuff.
ideas. One idea, maybe we'll tell our listeners that Jeremy Rusko had an idea. I don't know how we would do it, or if it would be effective, but his thinking would take a few blank discs, and go up to, say, Jackie, and have her throw it and tell us what she thinks the numbers are.
Yeah.
Rusco had that idea?
I think it was Rusko. Was it you?
That was me, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm glad that you confused the two of us.
Rusko
but
had an idea,
I was going to
though.
say, that's a really good idea.
Rusko had a similar idea. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll get back to that one, because that's a good idea. But Rusko had the idea of walking up with discs to strangers and handing them an enforcer, have them throw it, and then hand them a witness and show them how different those throw to people that never throw.
Right.
Okay, so back to your
Back
idea.
to my
Yes, that idea. I'm sorry. I apologize, Anthony.
No, I liked it. That's fine. You
No,
can
it
call
was-
me Rusco anytime.
Anyway, it was
That's
a good
much better
idea,
than
and I don't.
Andy.
As I'm thinking it through in my head, I'm trying to, I mean, that's how I think. Obviously, I'm trying to figure out the visuals. What would be the absolute message? Would that work well? I mean, I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, what are your thoughts, Robert?
You're talking about the blank discs thing?
Yeah, to see.
I think that could be really good, just so that people understand that flight numbers are going to mean different things to different people.
Right.
They're not completely arbitrary. We try and get them as good as we can
Right.
based on the people that throw it and the people who test it out. But let's say a disc that has -2 turn for me is going to fly a lot differently for me than it will for Jackie.
Yeah.
Or for my wife Shay or whoever.
Right.
Whomever is actually the correct. Anyway. But yeah, I think
Is it? No.
it is. No, wait, that's another office one. Whomever is not actually a word. That's what they say on there.
Oh.
It is. But yeah, I think that would be cool just to show that no matter what company you're throwing, the numbers are going to mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
While they may not be uniform across companies, they're a good guide as long as you know how they're going to work for you.
Yeah. So I think it might be an interesting video to do sometime down the road. In my mind, I'm thinking we would need to explain to the person what the flight numbers mean, and then knowing based on that knowledge,
Right.
throw it a few times and tell us what you would rate it. And it would be interesting to see because I know it's going to be completely different.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely different. So.
That's right. Well, and Andy, here's a spoiler alert for you for Bobby's bag. Trespass, air trespass, renegade, suspect, deputy. Those are the ones he throws the most. There are other ones in there.
That's the bulk of it.
Yeah.
But that's everything.
Oh, queen, too.
Yeah, the queen is hardly. Well,
It's an in and out.
In and out. So
Okay.
anyway,
Just in case you're wondering, Andy, that's a little spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Little
alert.
tease.
Yeah.
geez.
There go the views.
Nobody's
Nobody's gonna
Thanks,
watch it,
Robert.
no.
Sorry.
Next one was Pat, the guy who pointed out Robert wasn't on the Disc Golf Answer Man site.
Hey, thank you, Pat, for looking
How
out
much
for the
did you
little
pay
guy.
him for that, by the way?
5,000.
Wow,
5,000.
Yeah, Stanley Nichols.
that's a good bargain. For
Hey, Disc
Pat.
Golf Answer Crew, it's Pat calling back in. My question this week is actually about something most younger golfers like myself take for granted, their body. As my game has improved, I've noticed that I'm engaging my body a lot more than when I had started, and I recall Robert and EMAC both talking about some sports-related injuries and general body wear and tear. I currently have a warm-up routine that I do every time I go out to throw discs, whether it's field work or course play that helps keep my muscles loose and minimize wear. It involves some stretching, brief running, and just starting out with lower power throws with like putters and mids before I go out and start driving. My question for you guys is actually what I should be doing post-round. I notice depending upon the course and how many rounds I play in a day, I'll get tension in my calves and a slight dull ache in my right knee. I've tried using some of the same stretches I do pre-round in my post, but it doesn't really seem to help much. What do you guys do for a pre- and post-round routine? Thanks again, and as always, keep it real.
I mean, he's asking the right people.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Now that we've got video,
I'm gonna do nothing.
people can see this is what peak male fitness looks like.
Hey, take it easy.
This is
Hey, take it easy.
Hey.
this was the perfect week to send that in, sir.
Yeah. No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't do anything after the round.
No.
It's unfortunate because it actually is very. When I was marathon running, it was interesting to learn that stretching afterwards is just as important. In fact, some people think stretching before is not good because your muscles are tight, and now you're all of a sudden saying, "Do this, do this."
Right.
Whereas at the end, when your muscles are nice and warm, then you're like, "Okay, let's ease into the stretch."
Right.
Ease into a stretch. So yeah, I think it would be a good idea to stretch. So I don't have anything specific to tell you.
No, I mean, I'll warm up a little bit before. I'll maybe putt for a little bit, kind of stretch out your
Yeah.
arms, stretch out your back, your legs, stuff like that. But no, after I usually just get in my car and go back home or whatever.
Have a beer, that's my stretch.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I do a lot.
I gotta stretch this bicep here. Okay, so I do some of this, so my answer will be different than y'all's.
I'd assume so.
Yeah, when I'm getting ready to start a round, I like to do, as a general rule for me, I like to do more dynamic stretching before and more just kind of standard one thing at a time.
Latitude stretching after.
That's right. Yeah, latitude and west side stretching after. But before, I like to do a bunch of arm circles, kind of just twisting my torso. I I don't know, just a little kind of not really high knees or something, but just like stretching everything out, but in more athletic type movements.
You do that before.
That's what I do before. So I'm saying after is when I do the regular type stretching, and that stretching is what I do. Same as after I go to the gym, I will just do a stretching for sure the muscles that I worked that day, but as much as I can, all the muscles that I can think of, right? So I do these, these shoulder and tricep guys across my body. Same thing over your head for shoulders. I stretch my legs quite a bit and my hips quite a bit because, like you said, if your calves are sore toward the end of the round, it sucks to just leave and then get home, and then the next day they're even worse. And if you go play again, you're already tired. Right. And so do lots of quad and hamstring stretches, calf stretches, hip stretches. I try to do like that sort of just static type stuff before dynamic stuff before. Static stuff after dynamic stuff before.
A really excellent.
There you go. Got it. Sorry, sure. I thought I messed it up again.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. A really, really good resource for this type of stuff. I highly recommend go to Facebook, search Disc Golf Strong, and Seth Muncie is an excellent guy. He's been helping a lot of the pros out with the physicality part of their game. Go to his page, and he has quite a few videos out there to help you with different things like that. And I would imagine he has some stuff on stretching, so definitely check that out. When you go there and you like his page, make sure you post on there. Tell him that Bobby from Disc Golf Answerman sent you. Okay? Next one is from Christian Darby.
Cool.
What up, DJM crew? This is Christian calling from Flower Mound, Texas again. Question for you guys today. Just wondering what you guys' take on the overhand shot is. Whether you like it, dislike it, don't really care about it. Me personally, I'm all for it if that's the only shot that you have available, whether you're in trouble or you're stuck behind something and you have to go up and over it. But we all know that one guy that's going to step up to the tee and that's all that he throws. He takes out a super overstable disc and just bombs a thumber or a tomahawk. And you have a hole that's got a beautiful fairway that's got a nice easy backhand line or a forehand line, and these guys are just throwing over everything. I'm just wondering what you guys think about that, because me personally, I think it takes away from the challenge and the fun of disc golf, learning a good backhand or a good forehand, because an overhand shot to me, I know it takes skill and I'm not taking anything away from that, but anyone with a decent arm can just chunk a disc down the fairway. Just wondering what you guys think about that, and as always, keep it real. Peace.
The overhand shot. I've been to several courses and tournaments where not having a good overhand shot is a distinct disadvantage, and I don't like those courses. The reason behind that is that it's a golf shot, right? Backhand is a golf shot, forehand's a golf shot, roller is a golf shot, overhand shots are golf shots. Now, it bothers me when there's not really a fairway or super duper tight gaps down the fairway, and then there's just all this space over the top where you can just throw an easy thumber and get to the basket. At the same time, if I'm going to be upset about something like that, the onus is on me to learn that shot. If I don't want to get beat on a course like that, if I don't want to have to avoid a course because it's really thumber friendly, then I need to learn that shot. Right? And so I have a thumber or a tomahawk or whatever if I need to get out of trouble, but honestly, not much more than that. Yes, I think it's less challenging for sure. There are still some intricacies to it that make it, prone to chance, right? The way when they land up and down, a lot of times they can roll away. A lot of times they can get bad kicks, things like that. But at the end of the day, if you're tired of getting beat by that shot, and say it's not true golf, but it may not be. But we write down numbers at the end of a hole, and no matter what shots you threw to get there, that's the number that you got on that hole. And so it's been frustrating to me too. But if I really wanted to beat thumbers that bad, I just need to learn one. Mm-hmm. It sucks.
I know exactly what this guy is talking about because I was friends with the guy that this guy was talking about. He had one disc. It was a Star Wraith. So not even like the ideal disc. If anybody doesn't know, it's kind of a straight to overstable high-speed driver. So not the ideal disc to use for a 1-disc round. And this guy would come out, and we had been playing for about the same amount of time. It was only a couple years, so neither of us were great. You know, we were still pretty new, but we kind of knew what we were doing. And he would throw a thumber 50 times, and that was how he played.
Yeah.
It was like he would throw a thumber, and then he would aim 10 feet to the right and putt with a high-speed driver, and he would win. I was like, man, you are not fun to play with. 'Cause like, it's a legit shot. It still counts. It's 100% legal. But, yeah, it's definitely frustrating. I think he's still just, like, only throwing overhands.
Right.
And I could smoke him today. So
Yeah.
get at me.
That's the thing is you are
Come at me, bro.
Get at
Come
me.
at me.
You know where I'm at.
That's the thing is if you only have an overhand shot, you're vastly limiting your potential of growth in the sport, right? If you go and play a course like Jones East, yeah, you could throw a lot of thumbers and that'd be fine.
You're not going to score very well.
You're not going to score super well, but whatever. Like there's not a ton of trouble. But then if you go to a course like Cedar Hill in Dallas, which is pretty tightly wooded on the backside, you're just not going to score. Like you're going to hit all the trees and you're going to be in trouble. And most everyone else is throwing a nice, easy backhand that finishes to the left. And you're having to struggle to find a shot that works for you. You are handcuffing your growth in the sport if that's all you have. Now, having a good overhand shot is a good tool to have. That doesn't need to be your only tool.
Yeah. It's a really
So
good
there.
utility.
There you go. All right, so earlier today, the PDGA posted their new 2018. No, I'm sorry. No, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's
You're right.
2018.
2018 top tier schedule was released, and I'm looking over it right now. And there's some, of course, there's some of the usual suspects as far as where you're gonna play for as a touring pro. One thing that I noticed that was different is that the Gentlemen's Club Challenge is now called the Las Vegas Challenge.
Yep.
I'm assuming because of the stigma that goes along with Gentlemen's Club.
Right. Which isn't intended to be a strip club
Absolutely
reference.
not. It's supposed to be.
But if you don't know that, then that's what you think.
Right, and I think they probably were. I'm totally guessing because I don't know anything about it, but I'd assume they were probably just tired of having to explain it.
Yeah, I agree.
So they changed it. So, and then of course the differences, I think we touched on this over the trip, Robert, over the weekend. That Las Vegas Challenge this year was it an NT that last year?
Was it?
I don't think so.
I honestly don't remember.
I think it was.
Was it?
I think that these were maybe flip flopped. So it's last year. So Las Vegas was an A tier, Memorial was an NT. Is that right?
I think Memorial was a Disc Golf Pro Tour.
It was a pro tour. That's right.
It was a pro tour.
Yeah.
So it didn't. That was what we were discussing, whether they were going to flip flop again.
Oh yeah.
Because Las Vegas wasn't an NT 2 years ago, I believe.
That may be right, but I don't remember. I truly don't.
It was an NT, and then the Memorial was an NT, and then Las Vegas was just an A tier.
Right.
And then last year, Memorial became a Disc Golf Pro Tour, and Las Vegas became an NT. So they're keeping it the same this year.
There you go.
Because I remember one of us said they thought that Memorial said, no, we're not a Disc Golf Pro Tour. But they are, in fact, a Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Okay.
Waco Charity Open, another Disc Golf Pro Tour that Vent and I went to last year. Hopefully I'll get to go again, only so that I can get some more torchy tacos.
I'm interested, dude.
Tacos.
I'm going. You know what? We may not have any team members there at all. I'd still be there.
We're going to have lunch and a dinner there.
Yeah, every day.
Because you can have a different taco every time.
Yes. And they're all fantastic.
Like different, like 2 or 3 tacos.
And
different at
think
each
about
meal.
this for a second. Just think about it.
That was so good.
If the taco of the month when we go down there is the Roscoe, I will only be having the Roscoe.
What's the Roscoe? I forgot.
The Roscoe is a chicken and waffles taco.
I had one of those.
They're unbelievable. They're unbelievable. And
there was another one called. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can I go to Waco next year too?
Yeah, you're in. Because it's a savory place, right? And you'd think, chicken and waffles, that's a sweet taco. And yeah, it is a sweet taco, but it is so good. Little waffle inside, chicken, bacon, syrup.
Was there one called
I like all of those, yeah.
the garage sale or the
Trailer Park?
Trailer Park?
Yeah. That's on all the time. That's not just a taco of the month.
It's still amazing.
Oh yeah. So chicken strips, they usually do like lettuce, cheese, stuff like that. But if you want to, you can sub out the lettuce and do it trashy Trailer Park
They have
style.
breakfast tacos too.
And
Is that
that's
grass clippings?
no, that trades out the lettuce for queso. And their queso is the best queso Bar none. I implore you to tell me a better queso than Torchy's. If you're listening, hear me right now.
Go.
Torchy's. It's the best queso.
So anyway, back to the schedule.
Yes.
Let's see. Is there anything that you noticed that's a little different, Robert, as you're looking at the schedule? Do you have it pulled up, Anthony?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not really right off the top.
San
Oh,
Francisco.
it's Glass Blown Open. We're going to do it again this year. All right.
Oh, yeah, we decided to?
Yeah, we
I've
decided,
never
yeah.
heard of that.
I knew
one.
we were
What
up in
is
the air
that?
about it.
So no. So April 26th through 28th is the actual tournament of Glass Blown Open, but obviously that entire week is Glass Blown Open week. I know I say that a lot, but that's one of the ones that you really need to come out and
And that's not even just us saying that. Even if you ask the top pros, like, name 3 events that you
GBO
can't
is in their
miss.
top.
Yeah.
For sure. A couple of new Disc Golf Pro Tour events for next year. San Francisco Open. I know they didn't do that this last year.
When's that?
That is May
It's just
25th,
after GBO,
27th.
Yeah.
Great Lakes Open. The Great Lakes Open has been going for a long time, but it hasn't been a Pro Tour before. Or maybe it hasn't been going for a long time, but I remember having seen it quite a bit. Utah Open's back in. Idlewild's in. So the Pro Tour looks pretty similar. Not sure where the finale is going to be yet. But then one thing that does stick out to me, though, July 10th through the 14th. Junior Worlds.
Yes.
Here in Emporia, Kansas.
First year for Junior Worlds.
Man, we're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
That's going to be so cool.
Some other things that are sticking out, of course, is Eric is excited about the Pro Master Worlds. It's going to be held here in Kansas City, Missouri. He'll be able to play in the Masters division, so that'll be good for him.
I'll be caddying for him that week.
Nice. And of course, I'll be out there.
About to win a world championship. I say we
I was
because
going to say.
when
Are you going to get a trophy, too?
yes, thank you for asking. When we were at Luck
Congrats,
of the
man.
Draw this last time, Eric stepped up to a hole and he held out 3 discs and he goes, "Which one?" And I picked the disc and he's like, "Okay." And he threw it and it was like perfect, right? And I said, "If I do that every time we're at Masters Worlds and you win, then we win." So there you go.
Can you do that for me next time we play, and we'll just see what
Do you
happens?
think he'll give you part of the pay?
Yeah, half.
And then every time
Half?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just did half the work.
every time
I'm just kidding, obviously.
every time they're gonna call him, Eric McCabe, 2010 Pro Champion and
2018 Masters World
Masters
Champion.
World Champion,
And also Robert,
Yeah.
2018 co-champion.
co-champion, caddy champion.
Peeking out behind him when he's giving
That's
his
right.
thank
Hey, man,
you. Me too.
I helped out as well.
Yeah. I did half the work.
Yeah. All joking aside, I am super excited to go to that with him. Any world championship is always fun to go to.
I'm excited to go to Smuggler's Notch for the Pro Worlds for next year. I've heard
yes.
a lot of
I've
things
heard that
about
place
that.
is gorgeous.
Unbelievable. It's beautiful.
What else is looking? I've never been to. I was just
Delaware
looking at
Challenge is an NT this next year. Iron Hill is a freaking
I've never been to the
beautiful
Masters
course.
Cup.
Okay, yeah.
That'd be kind of neat to go to.
Yeah, a bunch of good events coming up. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, check it out. If you're looking to go to some of the top tournaments, whether to play or to spectate, make sure you check out the PDGA. One of their more recent posts talks about. Now, if you are interested in hosting, they are still looking ready. The 2018 A-tier applications are now being accepted. So if you're ready to put on an event, an A-tier event, make sure you have to get in by October 13th.
Quick.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, man. They set A tiers early.
So you want to get your bid in there for some, because there's certain rules about how close A tiers can be to each other, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure you get the application in. All right, let's hop back to the questions. Oh, Christian Darby again. Welcome back, Christian.
What's up, DJM crew? This is Christian calling again from Flower Mound, Texas. I had a second part to my previous question, but I couldn't really fit it all in one speak pipe question. The second part of my question is not really disc golf related. It is specifically for Mr. Robert McCall. Robert, I know that you were a worship leader in Austin, Texas, and myself, I was also a worship leader in San Antonio, Texas for a couple years. And I'm just curious what your big worship leader flaw was. Example, mine personally, I was terrible at memorizing lyrics. I mean, I can memorize music, guitar chords all day long, but when it comes to the lyrics, they just, oh my gosh, I just could not remember lyrics for anything. I could be looking directly at a confidence monitor and still sing the wrong words. And the funniest part about that was my wife actually ran pro presenter and lyrics for us at the church that we attended. And, you know, if I would sing the wrong words, you know, I'd look up at her and she'd just be giving me that good old wife death stare. We all know what that is. So, yeah, just curious what yours was, man. And I'd love to hear your answer. So thanks, man. Peace.
Cool.
What's interesting is Mr. Singer over here, worship leader.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Wouldn't even karaoke.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we were at...
Wouldn't even karaoke.
we were at this...
Is it because they wouldn't pay him?
That's right. I only sing if I'm getting
Because we
paid.
didn't have a confidence monitor, apparently.
Oh, man. No, like that's... You do understand how those are totally different things, right?
No.
They are.
Singing and also singing?
Yes.
No, totally
they
different.
are totally different.
Totally different.
Completely
Whatever.
different.
Whatever. You're dumb. You're dumb. Christian, you're cool. Anyway, yeah. The other I was partners with another worship leader there in Austin, and he was the same as you. Fantastic singer. Had all the vocal range in the world. Could not remember a lyric to save his life, and occasionally would, if we were running tracks, once he came in a measure early on a track, and yeah. And tracks are extremely unforgiving because once you start them, they're going. Yep. So if you're off, you're just off, and that's hopefully you can right the ship somehow.
Nobody's adjusting.
Yeah, but he was the same as you. He had a really hard time with lyrics. I think mine would be I just don't have a super high range, right? So that works well for the church sometimes because my singing voice is more like regular people singing voices a lot. But when it comes to songs where, you know, if the song called for a G or an A or something like that, I wasn't able to hit that really confidently every single time. So I had to just had to make do with what I had. Most of the time that was when I was singing harmony. It wasn't lead, but I just don't have a super high range because my voice tends more to the low side. So.
Hadn't noticed.
Ooh, I hadn't noticed. Funny jokes from Cool Daddy Slick.
So what's it like when you're riding with somebody and they're singing along with a track and they just sound horrible? You're just like, oh my gosh,
Skin crawl.
you're just so off key.
No, I don't really care much
You're
about that.
So out of tune.
I don't really care much about that. It only bothers me when it's people who you can tell that they should have practiced to get to where they are, right? Because if we're in the car and just driving along and like you're not a singer, who cares, man? You're not a singer. Just do your thing. That's fine. But if I see people like performing or leading or doing whatever, and it's very obvious that they haven't put in the time to lead well or to perform well or whatever, that's what bothers me. That's it.
I feel like that would go with anything, though. If you're a chef and you can't cook, it's kind of like,
exactly.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. If you have the tools and you just haven't done the preparation on the front end, that's it.
Next one comes from JB.
JB.
I'm an avid tournament player, approximately 20 a year, and for the most part, finish in the cash in MA1 at the tournaments I play. I'm trying to make the jump to open, but don't feel like my consistency is there just yet. Our league consists mostly of MA2 and rec players, so I can usually win at league with a mediocre round, but I feel like that has hurt me in tournaments because I get into a lull and play down to the league competition, and it takes me almost a round to snap out of it. How can I make a league round more competitive, and how do I avoid the slow tournament starts?
Just jump up.
Just do it.
Just stop throwing bad shots.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's honestly the reason that I moved up is kind of similar to what you're talking about. Is I would, when I was playing in advanced, I could be right at the top of the pack with just mediocre rounds, making a lot of mistakes, like a whole lot of mistakes. And so when I moved up, it was because I wanted to play with people who weren't making a lot of mistakes and to see kind of what was possible on the course, to watch their mental game, to watch how they Whoa. Are you gonna live over there, man?
Sorry, guys.
To watch how they attack a hole by dissecting it or by, taking a risky play that would end up, being the smartest thing for them. Something like that. So that's the whole reason that I moved up, knowing that I wouldn't cash it first, but in general, knowing I would play up to my competition. Not by trying to emulate exactly what they do, but by opening my eyes to more options that were in front of me. So that's what I would recommend that you do. Just try playing open and see where you stack up, and if you play better playing with better players, because usually that's how it works.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Next one. Excuse me. Sorry, guy. I apologize, guys. I have a cough, so I've been coughing the entire episode. I know, and I apologize.
And also the hotel rooms. Bobby,
Yes, I have.
yeah.
I've had like coughing fits.
Yeah.
Like,
it's been rough. I felt awful
You
for
should
you.
just hang out in here for a day.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times where I'm like ready to dial 911.
Yeah.
It's just
I just all of a
Guys,
sudden,
Bobby's
like, I'll be
dead.
working in the zone, and all of a sudden my throat would just itch or tickle, and it just starts to cough. Anyway, next one is from Jason. Hey guys, what is the correct height off the ground for a golf shot drive? How does this change if I were to drive for maximum distance?
8 3/4 feet.
I was thinking 8 7/8.
I've measured, but
You guys, y'all are so scientific, and I love it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a specific right height.
no, it's going to depend on the shot.
Yeah, it totally depends on the shape that you're trying to throw. Now, if you're trying to throw full, super distant shots, then those are going to need to be a lot higher to give the disc time to work. And if you're a right-hand backhand, to move over to the right and then back to the left. But it all depends on the shot. You know, there's like hole 2 here at Jones East. I could throw a shot that is 10 feet off the ground and get to the basket. I could throw a spike hyzer that goes 30 feet off the ground and get to the basket. It just depends on the hole and how you feel confident throwing.
Yeah. But like hole 1 at Jones East, if you go any higher than, I don't know, 12 or 13 feet, you're in the trees.
Yep.
So I don't think there is a best overall. It's going to be a best for the situation.
Agreed.
Excellent. So, Mr. Robert Call, were you able to come up with a quick tip?
A what?
Quick tip?
You know what? I do have a quick tip.
Tip of the week?
Do you want me to share it?
A
No.
tip of the week?
I do have a quick tip.
All right, what you got?
So we were playing this weekend on at the Pocono Raceway, doing all sorts of just having fun, having a good old time, and I think the quick tip, it's a really simple one, but allow fun rounds to be fun rounds, and make sure that when you're going to be competitive, that you turn on your competitive brain before the round starts. And here's an example of that. So Bobby and I played our round where we had a 12-stroke handicap.
Who won?
And Bobby won.
Okay, thanks.
I seem to have forgotten. But from the beginning, we just went out like just to have a good time. You know, I mean, yeah, I want to win, but if I don't, it's not like there's not money on the line. I don't have to do something embarrassing if I lose, except for tell you that I lost. So there's not much on the line, and I think there are good things to be learned from those rounds, and that's to just allow your mentality to just be easy. Because when you can relax yourself, a lot of times that's when you throw your best shots. Now, if you're trying to get better, or if you're trying to simulate a tournament environment, doing things like the Raceway experience, or, I mean, still go to that for sure, but just going out with your friends and throwing a bunch of drives off of each hole, that's not the way to get better on your tournament mentality. And so for me, if I'm going to play a disc golf round, I'm deciding ahead of time whether I'm going to play competitively or I'm just going to have a good time. And that honestly changes the way that I approach the round. So if you're trying to get better for tournament mentality, go out and make that round competitive. Even if you're playing by yourself, throw one shot, throw one putt, keep your score, and make note of the strokes that you miss. Because a lot of times that's where you can improve the most. If you see, man, I thought I putted well, but really I missed 5 inside the circle. That's easy strokes to pick up. So I think just setting that mentality before you start the round is super important to making it where you can get the type of practice that you want to. So quick tip of the week, decide what kind of round it's going to be before you start. Don't switch in the middle because you'll basically only be disappointed.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Robert.
Like, end of our round, with about three holes left, I was like, man, I got to get serious about this if I want to win. It's not cool. Like, I just got mad because I didn't win.
Yeah.
And I'm still mad now.
You should be.
Yeah, I am.
Should have just won.
Good
Would've
point.
been easier.
Good point.
Next one is a threat level midnight question from Michael Scarn.
Good.
Hey guys, just finished listening to episode 187 and couldn't come out at a better time. I really need some advice. I was trying to figure out what I should wear to the club this weekend. Might be one of those gentlemen's clubs with, exotic dancers, if you know what I'm talking about. I think you guys do. Just wondering, I'm looking on your website here, which shirt should I buy? Which one should I wear to the club this weekend? Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's good.
Cool, man.
Clearly the purple long sleeve,
Clearly.
Yeah, I just came from the club.
as you would do.
That's right.
Typical Tuesday.
Oh,
What do we got?
audio down. Oh, audio up.
Audio back.
Okay, sorry. Hopefully we didn't lose you guys. You okay with there, Devin?
Okay, cool.
That was weird.
I do like the threat level midnight question. That's a really good episode. When they finally go through the script of threat level midnight.
Is this another episode of The
There it
Office
is again.
that I haven't got?
Stand by.
Probably so.
All right. Everything looks
Test,
plugged in.
test.
All right, we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Maybe just a weak connection. All right, sorry, guys. I'll explain later.
You'll thank him.
What were we talking about?
Just the threat
Gentlemen's
level
Club.
midnight question. And
Yes.
and I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for sending that. Michael Scarn
Yeah, that's right.
for the question. Good times, yeah. So you need to listen to the previous episode if you want to know what we're talking about. Let's hear from Stephen the.
Hi, Bobby, Eric, and Robert. My name is Stephen Tay from Springfield, Massachusetts,
sorry.
I have a couple of questions today regarding flight numbers and if I can get sponsored. All right, just kidding, Bobby. I know you probably already paused this so that you can keep it real, but my real question is about caddying. I've been at several major tournaments where I've been watching professional players and they were carrying their own bags. And I've always kind of wondered if there's any protocol for caddying. Do you have to have any kind of qualification? Is there any sort of etiquette concerning asking a player if they would like a caddy? Just curious. I always thought it'd be kind of a cool experience to caddy for somebody. Let me know what your thoughts are, and have a great day.
That was good. Thanks, Stephen.
Stephen, you can get sponsored. Thank you. Thank you for asking. That's all it takes. There is a certain etiquette to being a caddy while you're on the course, and I think probably the most. What? Yes, Bobby.
I was going to read the official.
Oh, good. Yes.
PDGA.
Didn't someone start a
Yeah.
PDGA or
Yeah. Professional Disc Golf Caddy Association. Yeah.
PDGA states players choosing to use a caddy will be solely responsible for their caddy's conduct from the 2-minute warning until the player's cards are turned in. Misconduct by a caddy may subject both the player and the caddy to disqualification and or suspension. Players must instruct their caddies to maintain a reasonable distance and not interfere with a competitor attempting his or her shot. For those players wishing to carry... Oh, that's different. So, I'm sorry, go ahead. That was the official.
What rule number is that?
I can't tell you. It doesn't say.
But yeah, that's just what I was going to say. When you are caddying for somebody, I don't remember exactly how Eric says it, but your job is to stand close to the player that you're caddying for and be quiet. Honestly, that's what you're there for. If they if say I was caddying for Paige at Worlds this year. Whenever she's ready to throw a shot, if she has to look around for me, I have failed as a caddy, right? I need to be right next to her. But then when she gets ready to throw, I'm backed up. If she's going to be conscious of other people's lines of sight. And so if she's standing behind a player, I never, ever want to be farther down the fairway than the player I'm caddying for. Also, I need to be quiet. If people are joking around, we can joke around. That's fine on the tee box or on a backup or whatever. But otherwise, I basically only say something if the player who I'm caddying for says something to me, or I'm kind of encouraging them or whatever. So I think there is some etiquette associated with that. When it comes to asking a player if they'd like a caddy, it depends on, I don't know, if there's a huge gallery following, if they're in the final round of a tournament, or they just had a bad hole or something like that. Probably not a good time to ask. But early on during the round, I've heard people just come up and say, "Hey, would you mind if I carry your bag or something?" And most of the time, they're pretty amenable to that, unless they're one of those that feels like if they're not carrying their bag, then they kind of feel off from how they've practiced because they're trying to play exactly how they practice.
And I've heard some stories, and you guys just cannot do that. I've heard some stories where people caddied and they became kind of a nuisance, like asking them, "So what did you throw?"
Yeah.
And, trying to get. I know you may think this is a good time to get advice from them because you're close to them, but it is not the time because they are out there trying to earn their keep. They're trying to earn their
this is their actual job.
Yeah, that's
they're at work.
Job.
Yeah. So let them work.
I know that some caddies have gotten paid in discs as a thank you.
Yeah,
I know that.
Or some just it's a cool experience.
Yeah, cool experience. Or sometimes you'll see. I've heard of some pros paying 10% to their caddy of their winnings. So it really depends. There's no rule on that. It just really depends on what the player decides to do.
Yeah, when it comes to asking, I think just approach when they're not about to throw a shot. Certainly not after they've had a bad hole or whatever. And if everybody else has a caddy, or even if they don't, just ask nicely. If they say no, don't take offense to that because
there's some people like Ricky.
Yeah,
I've seen his brother caddy for him, and that's it.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
Some people just don't like it, and that's just how it is.
Next one comes from Justin.
Hey guys, Justin from Oregon here. So I've got a form question for you. I've been working pretty heavily on my form the last year or so, and have seen a lot of improvements. But there's one aspect that I've really kind of hit a sticking point in, and I feel like I'm just this close to making a breakthrough, and if I can get this down, then my game would just be so much better. So my question for you is, how do you spin a disc on your finger? I've seen a lot of videos of people doing this, and I can't seem to master it. So hoping you guys can help me out. Like I said, super important. If I can get this down, I just feel like my game is going to get so much better.
True.
And
that's a fact, actually.
If it doesn't, well, at least I'll look good doing it. Thanks.
There are certain things that just can't be taught. They're inherited. You're born with it.
Mm-hmm. It's just a gift some of us have.
It's just sometimes it's a curse.
Sometimes.
True.
So.
Because, I'll be just performing regular daily activities, trying to write an email, have to spin a disc on my finger. Can't help it.
I've found myself waking up in the middle of the night, spinning a disc.
That's right.
Man,
what the heck, man? This wasn't in my hand when I fell asleep.
I want to sleep right now. This is
right.
not the time.
The way that I started, you start with, just with your finger in the middle of the, what is it called on the back? Dimple, nipple, whatever it is. That. And just learn to just spin it really slowly on that. And then if you'll start to see that it slips off, then just adjust your hand to follow it. That's how the people who do it super duper well, that's how they keep it spinning for a long time, is if you can adjust your hand around with it.
We're going to need to make a video.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
Who's probably the best disc spinner in the world is Will Schustrick. Yep. He can start a disc from hanging on his finger like this to up and then just spinning. It's really impressive.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Also, Will I saw that he announced that he's done with disc golf for the rest of the year due to a shoulder injury. So,
ouch.
Yeah. Coming up on USDGC, he's a multiple-time champion, three, I believe.
Yeah.
So, best wishes to you, Will. Hope that you heal quickly and get back to playing.
Wow. All right. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say for this guy, because I taught myself how to spin a disc on a finger.
Yes.
I used to work at a pro shop, and we had a couple slow days, and it was
did a lot
actually
of disc spinning.
Yes, well, because I was
if
watching.
If I ever catch you disc spinning,
it was a Will Schustrick video, and that was the intro was he would start with the disc, and then he'd spin it, and I was like, I'm gonna teach myself how to do that.
Yeah.
And then so for the next 3 or 4 days, I was launching discs into the computer, and I hit myself in the arm, and then eventually one day I was like, oh wait, I'm doing it, and of course then it falls.
Yeah.
But I just tried for 3 or 4 days, and then eventually it just happened.
Yep.
So it's mostly mental is what you're getting at.
100%.
Justin, once you are able to do this, you can basically win a world championship.
Right. Next one comes from Nate. This will be our last question for the episode.
Ooh, I like that.
Hi, DGM crew. I have a couple questions. The first is about the Latitude Beetle. It's been a great disc so far, and it's really fun to practice approaches and just kind of get warmed up with. But I was wondering, how much can it teach me about my full throw? Should I take full throws with it, or is that going to impart some bad habits because I'm compensating for how that disc should be thrown from, say, a standard, disc golf disc?
But wait, was he done?
Because I do get some turn burn out of them when I throw full throws as opposed to like an approach shot. The other question.
Okay, so let's go with the Beetle first.
This is a hard one because I don't think it's really intended to be thrown as hard as you can,
Right.
but you can put some speed on it and it'll still fly well. So I wouldn't try and put much stock into if the Beetle is flying poorly for you one day when you're trying to throw it as hard as you can, because it's just not really built to do that. But if you're using it for little approach shots or practicing just your touch, I think it's a great disc for that.
Yeah, it'll force you to be smooth.
Yes.
But I mean, even if you're smooth and you throw it with some power, it's pretty understable.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll force you to be smooth, which is fine. So anything less than like 50, maybe 60%, you're good to go.
Solid.
All right, second part.
Question is, when do you guys turn away from the basket on your approaches and throw a full throw versus kind of quartering to the basket and looking at the target the whole time? You know, what distance or power percentage do you really look at when doing that? I noticed that when I try and overpower a shot when I'm facing the basket, it'll go right of my intended target. I'll pull the shot. And for that reason, I'm also looking at maybe throwing some lighter approach discs like 150s, 160s, so that I don't have to overpower them to get them there. Thanks a lot. And it was great to see you guys at Pleasant Hill.
Awesome.
Not that we're not qualified to answer this, because clearly, but there's actually, it just came out a few days ago. Dave Feldberg talks about almost this exact subject. I forget where it is, but he's like inside a house in a basement or something. It just came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, I saw a preview for that. I didn't watch it yet. For me, if I'm jump putting, I'll stay facing the basket, and I'll do that out to like, I don't know, 90 feet, 100 if I really feel like, you know, taking a few steps and just, but that's just to get it close. I'm not really trying to make those. Anything outside of that, I will turn my head away from it, but it's not so that I can reach back all the way. It's just so that I'm not having my body work against itself, right? Yeah. If I'm set up perpendicular to my target and I start to pull back and I don't look away, you can, well, if you're listening, you can hear that my chin was pulled the wrong way. But if I don't look away, then now my body's working against itself. In general, you want your shoulders to be connected. You want your arms to be connected. Anytime that there's things moving in opposite directions, something has gone wrong. So if I'm, you know, just outside 100 feet and I'm actually in my throwing motion, I'll pull my head away, not pull back all the way, but just so I'm not working against myself.
Yeah. I'm the exact same way, and it's like not because I don't want to work against myself, but that's not my normal throwing motion.
Right.
You know, anytime I'm actually throwing a disc, I'm going to turn my head away just because that's how I throw a disc. I don't want to change that just because, well, now it's 100 feet instead of 300 feet.
Yep.
That's how I throw it, so that's what works. That's what got me there.
I dig it.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you guys so much for turning in your questions. We really appreciate it. What else we got? What we got coming up this weekend's going to be? I'm going to be out of town.
It's my birthday on Saturday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, I turned 32. Very old.
What are you going to go do?
I think Shay and I are going to go to Kansas City and just go to the outlet malls up there and mess around for a little bit.
Nice.
I haven't done a whole lot of birthday month shopping. You know, we talked about birthday month earlier this month during one of the episodes. Haven't done a whole lot of shopping, so I probably won't go real crazy. But, you know, just check it out, see what's up there. Get out of Emporia for a day and probably eat, you know, Chick-fil-A. The finest of the fine dining cuisine. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Any particular thing you're looking for at the outlet mall, or just see what people
Not
have?
really. Just checking around.
I'm going to go with shoes. I bet you.
You know what?
A pair of shoes.
I did buy a pair of shoes earlier, like birthday month shoes, but at the end of August. With the agreement,
sounds like cheating.
With the agreement that those would be a birthday month purchase, basically. So that's about the only thing I've really bought this month, honestly.
But that was last month.
Well, yeah.
So nothing.
But it counts for this month.
Okay.
That's not true. I bought some wireless headphones for our travel.
There you go.
And they were great. I very much enjoyed them. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then next couple weekends after that, I've got a cousin's wedding, and then a triples tournament, and then Piney Woods. So
busy man.
Busy.
Excellent.
Busy.
I don't have too much. Like I said, I'm going to be out of town celebrating my anniversary. My anniversary with me and my wife. So going to have.
Did you just say maybe?
You're
Did
probably
I say maybe.
Where?
You're gonna want to know. You're gonna need to know when that is. It's important.
You're gonna want to cut that part just in case.
Right. Yeah. No, we're going to go to celebrate our anniversary. So that'll be a good time away.
What are you guys gonna do? Go to Bartlesville?
No, we're going to Branson.
Oh yeah, that's right. You talked about that.
Branson,
I forgot.
Missouri.
Awesome.
We got already tickets to a magic show.
Nice.
And tickets to a dinner cruise on a yacht. So that'll be nice.
Sweet.
Excuse me. Sorry. And found out that Silver Dollar City, this is...
Do you have to pay with silver dollars?
No.
That's the only currency allowed.
I cannot remember what they're calling it, but as a person that used to serve in the military, I actually get in free.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to go take advantage of that and go walk around. I love to just people watch. We'll do some people watching. They have little shows that are in there. And, of course, some good old amusement park food.
Funnel cakes.
And, yeah, things like that. And then we don't ride any rides. And I mean,
the shine is kind of worn off of ride riding at this point.
Yeah, and I understand that Silver Dollar City is kind of like folksy for some people, but I love it. I love sitting there watching the guy making a knife. I do. It's
really awesome,
cool. And asking him questions and stuff like that, and it's just really interesting. As I eat my chocolate covered strawberries. So.
That's right.
So anyway, so it's going to be good times. And then after that, the Piney Woods and hopefully filming some stuff when we get back.
Sweet.
Anthony?
You're
going to a game. No, that's next. That's not this weekend, is it?
Next weekend.
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'll get there. This week, I actually, in 1 hour, my friend is going to be getting into town. He's on his honeymoon. They got married.
And they're coming to Emporia?
Well, they went on like a big road trip.
Oh, okay.
And they were in Colorado Springs.
Nice.
And Emporia just happens to be kind of halfway between here, and they live up in Wisconsin.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And so they're going to spend the week here, play a whole bunch of disc golf, hang out with them. And then, like you said, next week, me, Joel, one of our sales guys, Doug, TD of the year, shout out to Doug, and then his wife, Noemi, are all going up to Columbus for the Ohio State-Maryland game.
Awesome.
Doug went to Maryland. Joel and I are big Ohio State fans. We were talking earlier in the year about how neither Joel and I have been to a game. Saw they were playing against Maryland, and I was like, that's perfect.
That will be incessant trash talk.
That is going to be the most fun 13-hour car ride I'll ever have.
That's true.
Unless, of course, they lose, in which case the ride back is going to be the most dreadful 13 hours.
Dude, and Doug will never let up either.
No, he won't.
He goes in hard in the paint.
I know, which is why I'm banking on Ohio State playing like Ohio State.
Yep.
So
true.
And then after that, DD Open. Yep.
Sweet.
A lot of new things coming out this week too. Really quick to wrap this up. A lot of exciting, some new molds from our My Dye, My Dye line, which is who's the guy that does My Dye?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like a tie-dye looking discs, if you've seen those. So there's some new molds that are coming out in that Opto Ballista, Lucid Enforcer, and Lucid Trespass.
Sweet.
So, and then some new beanies getting ready for the fall weather.
Yep.
And
there's 3 discs too.
I can't wait for the fall weather.
You
Do you know what my favorite season is?
Fall.
Is it fall?
No.
Oh.
Well, sorry. My favorite type of weather, and it's signified by a piece of clothing that I get to wear in that weather.
Sweatpants.
Vest weather. Dude, I'm telling you, vest weather is the weather.
Are you gonna wear a vest
guy?
to work?
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's not like a sweater vest. It's like a zip up vest, like a fleece vest. But it's my favorite type of weather.
You just gone nerd.
Well, no, we already knew that, but I'm just telling you that's where it's at.
We have 3 discs that a lot of people have been anticipating the release of.
The vest.
And that is the vest. Yeah.
The vest.
A
the
little too stable for my.
Yeah.
No, is the Latitude 64 River Pro.
Yeah.
The Westside Discs Pine. And the Dynamic Discs Deputy, all of which were the Trilogy Challenge discs for this year. And some people have their favorites. Some people have the ones that they don't ever want to touch or feel again, which is perfectly fine. But I'm sure you're excited about. I know we get a lot of questions on Facebook about these, so that's coming out. Also, for Paige Pierce, we're having a deputy come out. That's a signature series, I guess. A better way.
Is that on the burst ones or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then, of course, her signature disc.
Yeah.
For winning 2017 Worlds is the Biofusion Defender.
Yep.
So a lot of good stuff. Make sure you follow us on Facebook because Eric, Anthony, and Robert are going to be doing some live videos demonstrating some of the new stuff that's coming out. So you'll want to learn about that so you get familiar with that and find out if these discs are in fact something that you want to pick up for yourself. So, okay, guys, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thanks so much for sending your questions, and we will see you next week. Bye.